I'm quite comfortable in a cross-leg seat, but if you're not and you feel like your knees are quite high, grab a block or a cushion and sit on it, and then you see how now my hips are a bit more lifted than my knees, so it kind of slopes down rather than lifts up. But I appreciate blocks also aren't that comfy as well, so you decide which is best for you. Rest your hands, close your eyes. Take a big breath in all the way to the top of the lungs. Big long exhale, sigh out. Big breath in all the way. And big sigh out. Do one more. On that exhale, really try and drop the weight to the shoulders. And then close the mouth. So just softly, you don't need to grip through the jaw, don't need to be tense, just a soft closing of the mouth. Seat bones heavy. And with the same amount of weight and heaviness that is sinking down through the seat bones, I want as much energy to lift you up through the crown of the head. So you have 50% of your strength lifting you up, 50% of your weight grounding you down. So there's this even balance between the two. Soft through the hands, so don't need to clench. Through the wrists, no tension. Soft through the elbows, shoulders. As you breathe in, feel the rib cage expand. And then as you breathe out, rib cage draws down and in. Expansion as you take a big inhale. Let it soften as you exhale. And this month, we're going to slow down practice at the start and at the end. We'll still work dynamically through the middle part of the practice, but I just want you to get used to slowing things down a little. And then you can do that as well when you're not practicing. If you find that you're having a really busy, hectic, mad day, you can always just take a few minutes, sit down. Maybe it's simply 10 breaths or 20 breaths. But you can just think about that weight down through the seat bones, that lift up through the crown of the head. So that's your first anchor point, to think about the weight down, think about the lift up, and then connecting to the movement of the breath, so the expansion through the rib cage and the softening, the release on the exhale breath. So we'll take 10. Inhale. Exhale. You might find as that we work towards the 10th breath, that your breath gets longer and easier. 3. And 4. And with these breaths, you're almost able to scan the body at the same time. Just notice if there's anywhere that you feel maybe you're holding or guarding. Maybe you just need to try and soften a little. Or maybe it's a bit more than that. You need to be careful as you practice today. 2 more breaths all the way in. All the way out. Big breath in. And out. Keep the eyes closed. If you are sat on a block, just lift that block out to the side, place it to the top of the mat. With the eyes closed, come to all fours, hands and knees. And just start to move through cat-cow. So going forwards on your next inhale breath. Arching, rounding through the spine on your exhale breath. Inhale, open the chest forward, slide the shoulders back and down. Exhale, arch and round. Contract the abdominals, pull in, arch through the back. Inhale, look forwards, shine the collarbones open, nice and wide. Exhale, pull in, arch through the back. Push the hands down as you do that. 2 more. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, arch and round. Last one, chest opens forwards. As you exhale and round, I want you to hold that shape, pushing the hands down and actually bring the chin in so you touch the chest. So I want you to make that contact. And when you feel that contact, notice there's more of a stretch into the back of the neck. Breathe here for 2. And 1. Tuck the toes, lift it back, downward facing. Heels push away, hands push away, all 10 knuckles, all 10 fingertips pushing down into the ground so that you aren't just pushing into the heel of the hand, but instead the whole hand is anchoring into the floor. Roll forwards on your in-breath, hold that plank position, crown of the head forwards, heels back, hold it, wrap the waist in. Try and lengthen the crown of the head a bit further forwards and then slide back into downward facing dog. Remember what I said the other day as well, if you can, wrap the waist in as you lift forwards to a plank. So there's almost this central lift through the body, bringing you forwards, and then taking you back is another lift. So it's all coming from the center of the body. Go once more forwards, inhale. Hold it. Take it back as you exhale. Breathe there in and out. Big breath in, suit your right leg up to the sky. Keep that right hip facing down for now, so you're not opening the hip to the side of the room. Kick the heel away, so toes are pointing down to the floor, heel is driving back. Make sure the weight is even through both hands, through the upper body, and then pull that right knee into the chest, hold for 4, 3, lift it higher, 2, and then on 1 you can step. Rest your back knee down. Inhale, lift up. Squeeze that left glute on. So you're using the left glute to drive forwards and open into that left hip. Big breath in. Big breath out. Go further forwards. Big breath in. Big breath out, but use that left glute. Inhale. Exhale. Bow the body down. Reach your fingers further than the top of your mat. So I'm really reaching away past the top of the yoga mat. Bow down, look to the floor so you're not tensing the back of the neck. Here, if you want something more passive, because I have that back knee resting on the floor, something more active, my left toes tuck and I lift that left knee off the ground, trying my best to stay low. So the challenge is front of the left hip, outside of the right hip. Breathe. Navel to spine. 2. On 1, walk the hands back so they're inside of your right foot. Turn the left toes out, push into the feet, rise up, warrior 2. Breathe in and breathe out. Ground into both feet. So just make sure that you aren't letting the insides of the feet collapse in. Almost pull up through the insides of the feet. And then just sit down into the hips a fraction more. So you're trying to take that front thigh parallel. Close the eyes, breathe for 3. Exhale. 2. Exhale. Last one. Exhale, flip the right palm, reach and reverse. So open through that right side of the body. And try and do this without sound, really soft. Bring both hands to the top of the mat and step back into downward facing dog, no sound. So move as carefully as you can. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. Breathe in, let the rib cage expand. Breathe out, let it go. Left leg high. Lifting that left heel to the sky, so toes to the floor, heel kicks back. And if you're driving with the heel, you can send a message to the back of the left hip, to the left hamstring, engage and lift that heel slightly higher. Left knee pulls in, hold for 4. Into the chest, 3. Even higher, 2. And then 1 step. Rest your back knee down. Inhale, lift the arms up, right glute engaged. Lift through the chest. So like you're able to lift the rib cage away from the hips. You're trying to lengthen the side of the body. Breathe in. Breathe out, go further forwards. Breathe in. Breathe out, take it forwards. 1 more big breath. And then exhale, reach it forwards, fingertips down to the ground.
Bow the head in. So the back of the neck is nice and long, no stress through the back of the neck. Waist wraps in. So really do keep some engagement throughout. So you're drawing navel to spine, not so tense that you can't take a nice big full breath, but enough to offer support to the lower back. If you want that more active, back right toes tuck, right knee lifts with the intention of staying nice and low. Breathe. Exhale. In and out. Breathe in and out. Wherever you are, walk the hands back. If you haven't already, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, turn your right toes out to the side, windmill the arms up and out, warrior two. Close your eyes when you get there. See if you can go lower into that left thigh. You'll know when it's parallel because you'll start to feel the work. Breathe in, breathe out. Two more, in and out. In and out. Flip the left palm, reach in reverse, open through that left side. And then it's a slow windmill down with the hands to the instep. Carefully turn and rest. So you're spinning on the back toes. Don't rest, sorry, that's a lie. I was going to say rest the back knee, but you're carefully stepping back into downward facing dog. Faulty instruction there. Push into the hands, ground down through the feet. Now from your downward facing dog, close the eyes. I want you to feel the movement rather than looking around. So closing the eyes, pull the waist in, roll yourself forwards to a plank position. Now either you're lowering all the way down to the floor or you might lay a halfway. Baby cobra, lift the chest, or upward facing dog all the way, eyes closed. Push the hands down if you're all the way up. Squeeze the shoulders if you're in baby cobra. Navel to spine. Take it back from upward facing or bend the knees. Move back through all fours and into downward facing dog from baby cobra. Hands push down, hips lift high. Take a big in breath and a big out breath. Once more with the eyes closed, roll forwards to a plank, all the way or halfway. Inhale, lift. Chest open, collarbones nice and wide. Waist draws in, take it back, downward facing. And then you can blinker the eyes open. Looking towards the feet-ish. Some people say look all the way into the belly button. Seems like quite extreme to look that far in. So just gaze to the bottom of your yoga mat. Reach the right leg high, inhale. Bring the right knee into the chest, exhale. And then we're going 3 more times. Inhale, send that right leg back and up. Exhale, bring the right knee into the chest. Do come forwards with the shoulders. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, bring that right knee in nice and close. Last one, inhale, back and up. Exhale, pull the right knee in and step. If you have a block, place it inside of your right foot. If you don't worry. Keep on the ball of the back foot, rise up, high lunge. Breathe in. Breathe out, and then just soften that back knee. So my shin's almost parallel to the floor, just takes the pressure off the lower back. Breathe here. Exhale. Bring the hands down to the ribs. Breathe in, expand. Exhale. So really try and move the rib cage. Inhale, breath. Exhale. Go one more, big breath in. And out. Reach the arms up to the sky. Open warrior two, right arm forwards, left arm back. Left toes turn out, bend into that right knee. So if your block's inside of your right foot, just gives you a bit more space, take your right hand down to the block and reach your left arm up to the sky. If you don't have a block, you can take your hand down or your fingertips, but just notice how much I have to round to come down here. Whereas if I have a block, and even better if it's taller, just keeps so much more space through that right side of the body. So much less compression. Breathe in. And breathe out. Try and bend a bit more into that right knee. In. Exhale. Feet are strong, push down, warrior two. And then straighten your right leg. Shuffle your back foot in a couple of times, shorten the stance. Hinge from your right hip, lengthen right hip, right shoulder, right arm until you can't go any further and that long side of the body is parallel to the floor. Take your right hand down to the block, reach your left arm up. And again, you've got space. You don't need to use the block, just makes it a little bit nicer on the body. Breathe in, breathe out. If you want something stronger, I'm going to move my block so you can just see those right toes can lift. So you're welcome to keep the foot flat or lift so you're on the heel. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. One more breath. Exhale, look down to the ground. Both hands come down. Bend your front knee and just slowly rest the back knee down to the floor. Take the block out of the way, don't need it. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands into prayer, twist left elbow outside of your right thigh. And you push down into that left tricep. Use the tricep to push against the thigh and help you open the chest more. So you're drawing that right shoulder back. Twist travels all the way down through the center of the body. Breathe into it, inhale. Exhale, you're going to twist a bit more. Breathe in. Breathe out, twist a little more. One more breath. And exhale. Slowly look forwards, reach your arms up to the sky, big breath in. And then big breath out, both hands down inside of your right foot. Staying on the left knee, kick your right foot back into space behind you. So don't let it rest to the floor, just kick back. Slowly, controlled, reach your right arm up to the sky, face over to the right. So you might wobble slightly, that's okay. Just come back in if you fall. Trying to find balance. So you're on your left hand and left knee. You might tap those right toes to the floor for a little bit of support. And then maybe slowly with time, you start to lift them. Breathe. Exhale. One more. Exhale, right hand down. Right knee down. Tuck the toes, take it back into downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Take it forwards to a plank position. Hold it. Rest the knees down, only lowering halfway. So bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Don't need to go any further. Drive back up. We've got two more. You can do this without the knees down if you want. And push back up. Last one. Push back up. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. You can stay there. I'm just spinning around so I can better see you. Pushing both hands down. Lift your left leg up. Inhale. Left knee into the chest. Exhale. 4 more times. Inhale, drive back. Exhale, pull forwards. Inhale, drive back. Exhale, pull forwards. Last 2. Pull forwards. Last 1. Pull forwards, step forwards. If you have a block, place it inside of your left foot. Keep the back knee lifted. Rise up, high lunge. Breathe. Breathe and then soften that back knee. So it's not so forced. I've said this before, but if we force that back leg straight, kind of put a shelf into the lower back. So just soften that back leg, slightly nicer position through the lower back. Breathe in and breathe out. Big breath in. Open it out, warrior 2. Turn your right toes out into warrior 2, arms wide. So you may have a block inside of that left foot. Pushing down into the feet, lifting with the inner arches. Left hand comes down to the block. Right arm lifts. If you need to make it taller, make it taller. breathe. And then you can bend more into that left knee. So you see the hips come down, stretch through the inner thighs. Notice as well, I don't know which way you're facing, maybe you can see the camera. Try not to rest on this left shoulder and squash around the left side of the neck. Try and keep across the shoulders, the neck, nice and open. Big breath. Exhale. Drive all the way up, feet push down, warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Bring your back foot in once or twice, and then hinge from your left hip. Reach. So first of all, there's this long straight line from your hip to your shoulder to your fingers. Then the left hand comes down, right arm lifts, breathe. Inhale. Exhale. If you want a little more, left toes lift. So you can see left heel pushes down. And you're engaging with that left thigh. So if you're doing that, you really need to be pulling up with the left thigh. If you don't, just going to overstretch the hamstrings and it isn't a fun injury to recover from. So you want to be pretty careful of the back of the hamstrings, right up into the insertion on the seat bone. And you can protect that by engaging the quadriceps as much as you can. Big breath in. Big breath out. They work together. So if you're lengthening the back, you need to be engaging the front, vice versa. Look down to the floor. Soften your front knee, both hands down. Turn, rest your back knee, just take the block forwards. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, hands into prayer. And twist, right elbow outside of left thigh. Push into your tricep, open the chest. Breathe in. And breathe out. And here as well, think about all the space around the top of the shoulders, the neck. So almost imagine trying to make the neck longer. Breathe. Exhale. In. And out. Look down to the ground. Carefully, take both hands down to the floor. Your right hand and right knee are going to stay there. Left leg kicks back into space. You might start with it on the floor for some assistance, and then you slowly lift that left arm up. It's fine if you wobble. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And out. Arms wide, so right hand has to push down. Left fingers need to lift. And slowly left hand comes down. Left knee to the floor. Tuck the toes, take it back, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale. Exhale, roll forwards to a plank. Rest the knees. I'm going to go slowly on this, so a bit like that half push-up we just did. But I want you to not send your elbows back or out to the side. So come forwards with your shoulders. So I'm almost feel a little bit too far forwards. Now as I bend at the elbows, I'm going forwards of the elbow joints and then back up. So it's harder because you've got more weight coming forwards. You can't take it in the lower body, but it's nicer for the shoulder joint. And back up. Slide back into a child's pose. Rest the forehead down. Walk the hands in if you like and rest the forehead to the hands. Breathe in. Breathe out. Big breath. Breathe in. And out. Really try and weight down into the shins, tops of the feet, the knees. Push the breath down into the belly. Let the belly push into the thighs. Back of the shoulders soften. Back of the neck softens. So if I was to put my hands onto the back of your shoulder blades, I'd almost feel the movement of the breath. So you're almost trying to breathe into the back of the shoulders as well. So that movement is all the way through the chest and the torso. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath. And exhale. Reach the hands back out in front of you. Push down into the hands. Rise up to all fours, hands and knees. Take your left arm out in front of you. Try and keep the spine straight. So when you do that, just notice if you sway over to the right, bring yourself back to the middle of your mat. So it's slightly harder to hold yourself. Now kick the right leg back. So opposite arm, opposite leg, and you're holding that. Wrap in around the waist, lengthen, so your line is longer, straighter. Take a breath in, and then breathe out, bring the elbow and the knee together. Breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out. Breathe in, lengthen, and breathe out. One more, take it back. And exhale, hold that in there. Place your left hand down, tuck your left toes, and lift your right leg all the way back up to the sky. 3-leg downward facing dog. So you're reaching that right leg up. Point your toes this time and really reach up high with the right toes. You can bend and slightly open the right hip to face the right side of the room. Both hands push down, strong into both hands. Breathe here. Lift the right knee higher. Push the left heel further down. And then bring the right knee into the chest. Step that right foot forwards all the way to the top of the mat. Turn your left toes out. Warrior 2. Open up and out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Try and lift that front heel just for a little moment. Maybe you lift and lower, or you hold it. If you want, you can hold it and try and go a bit further into that right thigh. Breathe. Exhale. And then plant the foot. Straighten that right leg. Turn the right toes in. Arms lift up to the sky. Big inhale. With a straight spine, lean forwards halfway. So lean and then hold it. Feet are working hard, almost gripping the yoga mat. Toes are active. Legs are strong. And then relax the upper body. Bring it all the way down. Head, neck, shoulders. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Keep your feet facing over to the left side of the room as they are now. Slowly walk your hands over towards your right foot. So you're going to find length into the left side of the lower back. The more you push that left hip back and reach your left fingertips towards or beyond the right foot, the more length we're going to get into that left side of the body. Breathe. So maybe you're on fingertips and you feel like you can stretch the hands a bit further away. Really open down the left side of the ribs, the waist, the hip. 2 more. 1 more. Walk the hands back just a little. Don't need to come all the way back because we're turning the right toes to the top of the mat. Right hand is to the floor, or again, if you have a block, you can place that inside the right foot. This time, left arm lifts up and then goes overhead. So there's now more length through that left side of the body. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Space around that right shoulder. 2. Exhale. Last 1. Exhale. Slowly both hands down. Carefully rest your left knee to the floor. So you're looking to the top of the mat. Take that block out of the way. So your left knee is down. Your left foot, just take it slightly out to the edge of the mat. So instead of being directly behind the left knee, it's going to come slightly out. It's going to give you a more stable base. Take your right foot to the bottom of the yoga mat. Just place it down for a moment. Lift your right arm up. And then take a big stretch overhead. So let that right arm come over. So now we stretch out the right side of the body. Breathe. Lift your right arm up to the sky. So a bit more stable because of where we've kicked that left foot back. Lift your right leg off the floor is option 1. Option 2, bend your right knee. And I guess really option 3, take that right hand back to your right ankle and bind. Very welcome to stay in any of those options. So you can just work on stretching out through a side plank or lifting that right foot. If you're taking the bind, use the shoulders to pull down, use the glutes to drive the hips forwards. 3, 2, 1. Slowly come forwards to all fours, hands and knees. Breathe in and breathe out. Toes tuck. Close your eyes. Lift the knees just off the floor. So you're hovering, a 4-point hover. Got both hands down, the toes down. Crown of the head reaching forwards. Waist wrapping in, spine long. Lower abdominals draw in. 2, 1. Slide back into downward facing dog. Big breath. And exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. Roll it forwards to a plank position. You can do this vinyasa with the eyes closed if you like, all the way or halfway. Inhale, chest lifts all the way up, upward facing dog. If you're up there, hands push down, there's space around the shoulders. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in. Close the eyes, draw navel to spine. 2 more. Push the heels down. Last one. Lengthen through the arms. Inhale, left leg high. Lifting that left leg, point your left toes, lift them up towards the ceiling, and then bend the left knee. Open the hip. Breathe in. Breathe out. Anchor into both hands. Notice if you've shifted all the weight into that right hand. Inhale. And exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bring your left knee into the chest. Hold that left knee in. Now rest your right knee to the floor. Release the right toes. Holding that left knee nice and stable, take your right arm forwards. Your left leg goes back. Inhale. Exhale, round elbow and knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. One more, lengthen and reach. Round and pull in. Right hand down. Left foot steps forwards. If you have a block, just place it inside of that foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Open into warrior 2. Breathe in. Oh, I don't know if you do need the block, actually. That's false information. Breathe out. Lift your left heel. Bend into that left knee. And then maybe lower again. Kind of just strengthens the ankles, but also lets you go further into the inner thighs, into the hips. Breathe. And then rest the heel, straighten that leg. If you did put the block there, remove the block. Sorry. To your left toes in, hands to the hips this time. Inhale, straighten through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward, straight back, halfway and hold. So crown of the head is reaching forwards. Let your arms hang in front of you. Maybe fingertips just come to the floor, or they might not quite touch down to the ground. Just want you to sway the weight into the front of your feet. So you'll catch yourself if you go too far, but I just want you to get used to putting the weight into the balls of the feet, front half, instead of hanging back with the weight. And then let the body rest all the way forwards and down. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Feet stay exactly where they are. Hands walk over to the left foot. It's a big side stretch through the right side. The more you reach the fingers over to the left, the greater that stretch is going to be through the right. You can almost try and anchor that right hip back as well. Breathe. Two. And 1. Slowly bring the hands back just slightly. Turn to face the top of the mat. Bring your right knee down, rest your right knee to the floor. Breathe in, lift both arms up to the sky, big inhale. And big exhale. Hands into prayer. I'm going to take a twist, right elbow outside of left thigh. Drive down, twist, pull that left shoulder back, breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And out, space around the shoulders, lengthen the neck. Look down to the floor. Place both hands down to the ground. And we're going to go back to why I said you needed a block, because I've just remembered. So grab your block, if you have one, place it inside of the left foot. Your left hand comes on that black block. Tuck your back toes, straighten the back leg, turn your right toes out, right arm lifts, and then right arm goes overhead. This is what we did on the other side. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. In and out. Slowly lower both hands. Rest your right knee down to the floor. Take that block out in front of you. And then your right knee is straight back behind you, but your right foot is slightly flicked out to the side. So instead of being directly behind the knee, it's slightly out. We're going to step our left foot to the back of the mat. So first of all, just place your left foot down. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Should be quite stable. You've got your right hand, right knee, and left foot down. Take that left arm overhead so you get a big side stretch. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And then maybe you start to lift the left arm and lift the left leg, option one. Well, option one is actually to stay in that nice big stretch. Option two is to lift into the balance. Option three, bend your left knee. I guess option four, take your hand, reach for the foot and open there. Breathe in and out. In and out. One more breath. Exhale. Slowly let it go. Both hands, both knees. Close your eyes. Now keep your toes pointing back. So normally we tuck the toes to hover. Keep the top of your feet flat to the floor. It's a little bit harder to lift here. So if it's too much, tuck the toes again. You're pushing into the tops of the feet, pulling the belly in, lifting the knees. Rest, lift, rest. So just up and down, pushing into the hands, pulling in through the waist, lifting through the knees and lower. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Tuck your toes. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hands and feet together. Fold the body forwards. Upper body relaxed. Head nice and heavy. Wrists relaxed as well. So soften through the wrists. Crown of the head should be facing down to the floor. So if the crown of your head is facing to the front of the room, bring your chin into the chest and let the top of the head face downwards. Breathe in. Breathe out. So you can either stay there or you can take the hands up to the lower back, interlace the fingers, reach your knuckles up to the sky and open through the shoulders at the same time. Breathing in and out. In and out. One more breath. And exhale. Slowly release the arms down by the side. Try not to just fling the fingers apart. Bring the hands all the way down. And carefully, slowly roll up. Waist wraps in. as you curl up through the spine. So realigning as you roll up, push down into the feet, pull in, stand nice and tall, shoulders draw back, crown of the head lifts up, close the eyes, and think about what we said at the start when we were seated. Half of your weight wants to push down into the feet, anchor you down into the ground. Half of your strength, half of your energy wants to lift up. So lift, lengthen, shoulders open, chest open, crown of the head nice and tall, back of the neck nice and long. Take your hands to the rib cage. Big breath in, feel the ribs expand. Big breath out, let it go. Big breath in, let the ribs expand. Big breath out, let it go. And then relax the arms down by the side. Blink of the eyes open just a moment to see this, but then you're going to close your eyes for your tree. So instead of coming up with your foot inside, you're going to rest it so my toes are down on the floor, and that's because we're going to close our eyes as well. So toes are on the floor and my heel is just inside on my left ankle or shin. Hands into prayer, and then close the eyes. So it feels like quite a simple balance through the lower body, but close your eyes and, well, you might not wobble around as much as I do, but if I shut off my vision, then my balance is challenged. So just hold that for a moment. When you feel like you've got your balance, you're ready. Reach the arms up to the sky, up and out. Loads of space across the chest and the arms. Holding that still. Pulling in through the midline. Slowly, keeping the eyes closed, slowly lower your right hand down to your right thigh. So the palm will be facing up when that right hand lands. Maybe there's a slight side bend over to the right. Again, eyes still closed, so challenging the balance. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out, rise back up, eyes closed. Hands into prayer heart center. And bring that down into the middle of the chest. You can keep the eyes closed as you transition. So plant your right foot down. Left heel just rests inside of your right ankle. Breathe in. Breathe out. Making sure that you are standing nice and tall. You're not leaning over into that right hip. And then lift the arms up and take the arms out. Open across the chest. Breathe in. And breathe out. Left hand starts to lower, palm face up as you lower. Comes all the way down. So it's almost by your side. It just rests onto that left thigh. Right arm lifts up, and then there's a side bend over to the left. So you're leaning your body over to the left, holding the balance. Breathe. 2. 1, slowly bring it back. Reach both arms up to the sky. Hands into prayer heart center. Rest both feet. If you can, keep the eyes closed. Rest the arms down by the side. Chin into chest. Slowly roll down through the spine. Take it all the way down to the floor. Hands come down. And then walk your hands to the top of the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. Breathe in. Big exhale, sigh out. Breathe in. Big exhale, let it go. Right leg high, in breath. Right foot, your biggest step to the outside of the right hand. So you might need to help it forwards. You've got a big long stance between the right foot and the back foot. Rise onto your fingertips. If you have both blocks to hand or just one block, lift yourself onto your block, and then you're even higher through the chest. So you've got a really long opening through that back left hip. Inhale. Exhale. Crown of the head reaches forwards. Just be conscious you aren't creasing into the back of the neck. So try your best to keep length through the back of the neck. Trying to move your chest forwards, move the upper body forwards. As you stretch through that back left hip, breathe. 2. 1, just block or blocks to the top of the mat. We're stepping all the way back into downward facing. Same on the other side, left leg high, inhale. Biggest step, left foot to the outside of the left hand. Exhale. Keep that back knee lifted so you're active and strong through that right hip. You can rise to fingertips, or if you have a block, you can come to your block. More lift, more length through the chest. Breathe in. Breathe out one, crown of the head forwards. Space across the shoulders. Lower back nice and long. So you aren't compressing or dropping into the lower back. Breathe. 2. And 1. This time just rest your back knee. Take your block or blocks forwards. Step your left knee back next to your right knee and just walk the knees forwards. So nice and simple. Cross the legs, come back, have a seat, and take your legs wide-ish, so just a bit wider than the top of your mat. Toes pull back to the face. And if you find yourself kind of rounding into the lower back, just lean yourself a bit further forward so you feel a bit more length and lift through the lower back. You can have a slight natural curve in the lower back, so don't be afraid of a little curve. Reach your arms up to the sky. Big inhale. Big exhale with a straight spine. Just lean as far forwards as you can. So you're just holding that straight spine. Don't go any further forwards and compromise the position through the back. I want you to hold that length. Breathe in. Breathe out and challenge through your shoulders. So keep your biceps running in line with your ears. Try not to let the arms fall down here. Keep them up. Breathe. 3, 2. Now still a straight spine, but take your fingertips down to the floor. So I've still got length and extension through the back. Now walk your fingertips a bit further forward. See if you can maintain that position through the back. Breathe. 3 more breaths here. So just again at your maximum. 2. And 1, then you can let the body round. So let the effort go. Depending on where you are in relation to the ground, how far away you are, if you have a block and you're about 1 block width away, it's quite nice to rest the forehead. You might be able to take your forehead all the way to the ground, but I also remember when I started feeling like I would need about 10 blocks to be able to get my forehead anywhere near the ground. So you can do that. You just have to decide if you trust that the blocks won't move. But I do remember thinking, I am going to need more yoga blocks if my forehead is going to reach them. So if that's also you, don't worry. Breathe. See if you can breathe into the back of the shoulders. So again, trying to find space into the back of the body. And carefully rolling up. So no rush. Bring it all the way up. Take your legs out in front of you and just shimmy forward so you have space to go back. You can keep the knees bent, plant the feet to the floor, but touch them together. So big toes touch, inner ankles touch, knees squeeze together, arms reach out, tailbone tucks under, and there's a slow roll down through the spine. Waist wraps in, tailbone scoots under, vertebrae by vertebrae, we bring it down. Arms go overhead, big inhale, legs stretch away, exhale. Interlace your hands and kick the heels of the hands away. So stretch the palms of the hands to the wall or the window behind you. Breathe in and breathe out. Big breath. Exhale. Arms come down by the side, plant the feet to the floor. Tuck your tailbone, roll the hips up off the floor. One final glute bridge here. You're pushing into the feet. One straight line, shoulders, hips, knees. Squeeze your glutes, lift the hips higher. And then squeeze your glutes again, really stabilize the back of the pelvis. Make sure it feels nice and strong. Your waist pulls in too. So you have glutes to lift up, abdominals to pull back in. So you have these two opposing forces. Same way we started class, thinking about half of our energy going down, half of our energy lifting up. Breathe. And then roll it to the floor. Carefully, slowly, bringing it down. Rest your hands on your belly. Wriggle your feet just a tad wider to the edges of the mat and let your knees fall in. Hands on the belly, eyes closed, shoulders soft. Take a big breath. And quite a loud sigh out, so really let it go. 2 more like that, all the way into the very top of your lungs. And then a really loud exhale. No one can hear you, so it doesn't matter. Really go for it. Breathe in. And sigh all the way out. And then your breath can just be slightly easier. No force. No strain. Feel the heaviness and the weight down through the lower back of the hips, sacrum. If you've still got the knees in, should be a nice opening stretch around the back of the sacrum, around the back of the hips. Almost with the knees in this position causes a slight gapping around the back of the sacrum, gives you some space. So grounding down through the back of the body. Notice the connection down with the floor, heaviness down through the back, shoulders, back of the head. And in contrast, loads of space through the front of the body, hips, belly, chest, shoulders, throat. A feeling of lightness. And you can breathe into all that space. So you have loads of space in the front of the body to bring in a really big breath. A light breath. And we spend the whole of practice focusing on our breath. So when you get to the end now and we stop moving so much, don't just let that go. See if you can hold on to it into the morning, into your day. Really slowly, subtle movements. Just reach down for the back of the right thigh, bring that knee into the chest. Same on the left, tuck the left knee in. Both knees come in. You can wrap your arms all the way around the shins, lift your head, neck, shoulders off the floor, look in towards the center of the body. So you're curled into this slight ball shape. And you have two choices. Either you can roll over to one side, or you can rock up to a seated position. Your choice. Cross the legs when you come up. And just sit nice and tall. Hands rest. You can be in your lap. They can be on your thighs, on your knees. Doesn't matter really. Wherever they're comfortable. Anchoring into your seat bones. Lifting through the crown of your head. Take a big inhale. And a big exhale. Big breath in. Big breath out. And just take a moment. Notice how you feel physically and mentally. And then just bring your hands into prayer heart center. Thank yourself for making the time to come and practice this morning. Well done. Pinch punch, first of the month and all.